Oh, goody.
All right, so we are back, everybody. This is going to be the last of the Chi G task videos. Going to be covering number 9 and 10 here. Both of these do involve heroic Balinda. One of them requires you to beat it with 3 dragons, and another one requires you to beat it without losing a single unit. So I think we're actually going to be able to accomplish both of these with the same squad here. Main thing you need for this heroic Balinda fight is Anduin with his Harmonic Mallet, Cornelius with Shield of Dawn, and Velen with Tome of Inspiration. And then for our backline, since we need dragons, we are running Sinestra with Mana Brooch, Longjin with I guess we should actually switch it over here to Bottle of the Infinite, and then Yulon with Pearl of Yulon. But we're really only going to need these 3. You can use these on the climb if you want, and throw in like Sinestra if Cornelius dies, but it's pretty straightforward. If you enjoy this type of content, do remember to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out and keeps the Mercs videos coming. So without further ado, let's get into the bounty. And here we are at the heroic Balinda fight. So for this one, pretty straightforward. We're actually basically using the same strategy that we used to clear this on heroic for the first time. Holy is really good for this because we just have the healing that is needed to get around her, setting everybody to 1. And we do get that additional healing from her doing that, so it makes it nice and easy to heal up. And we're just going to get some damage down here. The only thing you do have to be a little bit careful about is her spawns here are super effective on Cornelius, so they can kind of focus him down a bit. But Cornelius isn't really required. In the task 10, we'll see I actually don't use Cornelius in this fight at all, despite using him to kind of help climb the way up, as that one does require you not to lose any characters during the fight. So did want to be a little bit more cautious about that since, obviously Cornelius is taking super effective damage here. But our blues are nice and safe. And we're just going to keep getting damage down, healing back up. And unfortunately we do lose Cornelius there, but again, not really that big of a deal. So I believe we're going to throw down our Sinestra, right? Yeah. This will help us kind of clean up the blues. They also don't have a way to deal super effective damage on it, which is very nice for us. And we're just going to keep Holy Novaing. We're going to set up a Sinestra AoE for the end of next turn to help clean up these big blues. And it should be pretty good for us. Obviously, these units do have quite a lot of health. So it does take a little bit of time here, but luckily for us, they don't really have a whole ton of damage. Since their damage output's rather limited, I decided to go for a little bit of extra damage and a bleed here with the Sinestra, which was totally fine, ended up working out. And she's going to keep spawning elementals, but they're going to take a ton of damage, and now this turn we should, I think, clean them up with a nice Holy Nova. So kind of just rinse and repeat here, kind of like one of the other bosses we did before. Holy Nova is just going to keep getting spammed, and it will get us there. Now Balinda is out of spawns, so we can just kind of focus her down here, and that will be completion of our second to last task of this event, task number 9, for the Chi Mercenaries event. So you pop her block there. If you don't know, she does have an ice block like Jaina, so do be careful of that. But again, no big deal. She sets us to 1, we heal up, we deal damage, and that is going to be it. Got some nice news out coins. Always happy to see new Merc coins. Never a bad thing. And we'll go claim our reward real fast. And boom, there it is. Task number 9 complete. Alright, so we have made it to the 10th and final task here. And like I said in the beginning, we are going to be using the same comp for this. Really, the only difference here is that I ended up using Sinestra during the boss fight instead of Cornelius, because he's just really not needed. He's a little bit more of a risk because they do have those 2 blue elementals who can hit him for super effective damage. I did actually lose Cornelius in my completion of task 9. So since this one requires losing no mercenaries, I didn't want to take any chances. But luckily, Sinestra kind of fills the spot for him really nicely, and her Twilight Extinction can help us get down those big elementals a little bit faster. So same comp, same basic stuff. Let's get into the bounty. And we are at Balinda Heroic once again. For this one, pretty similar strategy. However, since we cannot lose a mercenary, we are opting not to start with Cornelius. Big reason for this is we saw Cornelius did get kind of focused down and died last time. Can't be having that happen for task number 10 here. So we're just gonna, learn from what we did last time, and we saw Sinestra does a pretty great job of staying alive, tanking damage, healing back up. So that's basically what we're gonna do this time. we're just going to use her to heal on up. And since we act first, might as well just set up the Twilight Extinction as soon as possible. Start nuking down those blues, getting some extra damage. Now I know this bounty is definitely one that feels very specific for. You know, Holy is just so incredibly good at this. However, if you are looking for a more budget-based comp, I do highly recommend checking out some of Old Guardian's PvE stuff. He is definitely kind of like the PvE master. He puts up like a whole ton of different guides and all that kind of stuff, just like this. However, he explores a lot of budget comps as well. For people who may not have, you know, specific legendary like Anduin leveled, or even just a newer kind of rare like Sinestra. But Sinestra's really, really good for like a lot of these bounties, especially the ones where you need dragons. So if you don't have her leveled up yet, I highly recommend putting some time into getting her ready, because it'll definitely pay off for going through this bounty. And I think we're just going to put a bleed on him here. Yep. Looks good to me. So that will end up killing off her summon. Now it is just Balinda, and from here it should be pretty easy. She does do one more summon, but dies to our Twilight Extinction. And now we can just kind of clean her up on our own. Again, the fight itself is not actually that hard. I would argue it is much harder getting through the bounty and, you know, not losing your units there. But biggest advice for that, just take it slow. You know, make sure you're reading what the opposing units are doing, because I've definitely lost a game or two or a character or two on the way up here before in my initial testing by not paying full attention. So these are definitely bounties you might want to pay a little bit more of attention to. So we do pop her block again and are going to end up taking her down this turn. Again, really not that bad. If you can get through Heroic Localar, this should be a cakewalk compared to that, as that one was much, much harder in my opinion. But that is going to be it. That is task number 10, the final task for the Chi-Ji event. You may notice it will say, you know, next task coming soon. I think that is kind of a visual error, because they were initially planning on kind of time gating these tasks for 2 a day. But it seems that they either changed their mind or there's a bug kind of preventing that, because that does not seem to be the case. We are going to get our last coins here. 75 for the legendary, 80 for Chi-Ji, and 75 for New Zhao. So pretty happy with that all around. Really nice to see these extra coins. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.